Let me ask you a question. Have you ever hit a financial goal, a revenue milestone, a big sale, a record month, and instead of feeling proud or fulfilled, you felt nothing? Maybe you looked at the number in your business account and thought, why doesn't this feel the way I thought it would? Or even better, have you ever realized that a number that you thought would mean that you made it didn't actually change your life the way you expected? Well, if you've ever had that moment, that quiet pause where you thought, is this really what success is supposed to feel like? Then today's episode is for you. Because the older I get, the deeper I grow as a business owner, and the more leaders I coach, the more I've realized something big is your money will only ever feel as good as the values behind it. Your money, your values, your definition of wealth, your definition of success, they all have to match, or you will always feel like something's off, no matter how much you make. So today I'm talking about redefining wealth, success, and fulfillment before the new year. So you don't just build a profitable business, you really build a meaningful one. And if you're new here, hey dreamer, welcome to your Dream Coach podcast. I'm Shayla Wey. I'm a small business coach, growth strategist, and believer that your dream life starts the moment you lead like you mean it. Around here, we blend leadership, fulfillment, and growth because those three things together create a business that feels so good on the outside and on the inside. So let's jump into this. The misalignment problem that I see, and this is really why more money doesn't always feel like more success, is because what I've learned is that most people really don't have a money problem. They have a misalignment problem. They're chasing money that isn't really connected to their lifestyle dreams, maybe their personal values, their purpose, even the season of life they're in, or the desired impact that they want to make. And I've coached so many business owners who say, I thought making more money would fix everything. But money magnifies who you already are. It doesn't always fill what's missing. And this is backed by research from Harvard psychologist Dan Gilbert. And really, after our basic needs are met, more money doesn't always increase happiness. What increases fulfillment is alignment. Not more, but what matters. And so when we redefine wealth for the season of life you're in right now, is a powerful lesson that I've seen across thousands of clients is your definition of wealth changes as you change. So there's lots of ways to measure wealth. There's financial wealth. Then we have emotional wealth, time wealth, energy wealth, relationship wealth is big, and freedom wealth. And in every season of life, it really requires a different version. And so what I found is that most people feel stuck, not because they don't have enough, but because they're measuring success with someone else's ruler. And so this season might not be about scaling. It might be about stabilizing, or maybe simplifying, or even just building foundations, or just reclaiming time. But wealth isn't just one thing. It's whatever supports the life that you actually want and the business that you are leading. And so when we look at money as a mirror, is sometimes it can reveal the patterns, or there's patterns that we see that can reveal our relationship with money. So your relationship with money is really rarely about the money. Honestly, it often reflects beliefs, self-worth, fears, our upbringing, expectations, identity. And so what I found is that every money pattern tells a story. So if people are undercharging for services, it's likely tied to people pleasing or worthiness. If it's sometimes overspending, it's usually tied to stress, avoidance, or emotional gaps. If someone I see is hustling nonstop, sometimes that can be tied to feeling unsafe and just slowing down. And even just avoiding finances altogether can sometimes be tied to fear or shame or just lack of clarity. And so money is a mirror, but it's also a teacher. And when you understand your money patterns, you really start to understand yourself a lot more. And a really good book that hits this is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. He says that people don't make financial decisions based on numbers. They make them based on stories. And so the question is what story are you telling about money? And as we dive deep into your goals, and your values is your values should direct you closer to the revenue goals that you set. Okay? Because one of the biggest mindset shifts that I teach is that your revenue goals shouldn't be random. They really should, as you build your business, be really values based. So asking yourself, what kind of life do I want? And how much money supports that life? Instead of how much money do I need to feel worthy or successful? So when we dive deeper into value-based revenue goals, this creates a lot less pressure. It reduces burnout. It can increase our motivation. We can feel way more, it feels way more meaningful. And it definitely aligns more so with our life vision. So examples of how this can look is if you value family, for example, then your revenue plan should protect your time. If you value freedom, then your business model must allow more flexibility. If you value creativity, then your offer stack must make room for it. And if you value impact, then your pricing needs to reflect sustainability. So money really should serve your values, not the other way around. Now, financial fulfillment does come from purpose, not pressure. And leaders often confuse performance with purpose. But performance without purpose leads to burnout, as I've shared in many other episodes. And purpose without performance, leads to, or with performance leads to that fulfillment, right? That key piece. When we have purpose around what we're doing in our performance is going to lead to fulfillment. Now, research from Meaningful Work, a study from McKinsey, found that employees who feel connected to purpose are more motivated, more loyal, and more productive. And leaders are the same way. So when your work is purposeful, the money that you earn feels purposeful. And when your work is misaligned, the money feels empty, even if it's a lot. So the energetics of money, why your nervous system matters, is this is where fulfillment meets physiology. And so what I have found is that your nervous system decides how much you can hold. And it decides this based on money, success, responsibility, abundance. So if your body feels unsafe with more money, you will sabotage yourself. You'll overspend, you'll avoid, you'll reject opportunities, and you'll stay small. And this comes from somatic psychology and the work of Dr. Peter Levine on capacity building. So to expand financially, you must expand emotionally. So you grow wealth by growing you. And so as we grow in our success and our clarity and fulfillment, is gratitude is such a key part of wealth strategy. And gratitude isn't fluffy. It really is neuroscience. Research from UCLA shows that gratitude rewires the brain toward abundance, which increases decision-making clarity, emotional regulation, motivation, creativity, resilience. And so people who are grateful make better long-term financial choices. And so this is why I tell clients is that if you can't appreciate $500, you won't appreciate 5,000 or 50,000 because gratitude doesn't replace ambition, it refines it. Now, this question about the enough, right? When is enough, right? Redefining success, especially before we get into the new year, is going to be so powerful with how you really build momentum into 2026. Because let's kind of bring this all together. Let's bring this home. Is most people never ask the question, how much is enough? Or what does success look like for me right now? And what happens is they keep chasing more because it feels safer than defining enough. But defining enough is what really creates freedom. It creates the clarities, the boundaries, and the direction. And what I have found is that leaders who know what enough means gain power back over their time and energy. So before the new year, ask yourself, what do I want more of emotionally? What do I want less of energetically? And what would more really give me? And what does the next level of aligned wealth look like? So this is really how you create intentional success. And I just went through a lot of these questions personally as I started vision mapping my goals for 2026. And as a coach myself is I need to lead by example. And so I reflected on a lot of that and got really intentional on what my goals and my purpose was for 2026 and my dreams and different things that I wanted to create going into a new year. And been challenging a lot of my clients to do the same thing. And when we look at wealth, leadership, and fulfillment and how they all connect, this is how the pillars of LFG Global Coaching really show up beautifully here in this episode. Is you lead best when you're aligned with your values, not financial fear. And money means nothing if we're sacrificing your joy. And your business really can't grow past your money mindset. So when all these three pillars are aligned, that's where you really are going to create sustainable wealth, the kind that feels really good and supports your dream life. So, dreamers, as we move toward the new year, I want you to remember this. Your money will feel meaningful when it aligns with your values. Your wealth expands when you expand, and success becomes fulfilling when it supports your life, not replaces it. You get to redefine wealth. You get to redefine success. And you get to decide what enough feels like. You get to build a business that reflects your heart, not your pressure. Money is a tool, and values are the compass, and fulfillment is the outcome. So if you want support doing this deep work, you can join the LFG Business Academy on School. It's totally free. You will get access to my mini leadership series, a short but powerful training that will help you lead with intention, grow sustainably, and align your actions with your mission. The link is in the show notes, so you can come join us there. And thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this episode hit home, share it with another leader who needs to redefine success on their terms. And remember that your dream life starts with the way that you lead, the way that you live, and the way that you grow. I'll see you next time on your Dream Coach podcast.